Hello, folks. Brandon Chapman with you today. Boy, the bulls did their work. They brought the lunch pail. We were able to get above 750 going to the close. The S&P 500 up nearly 1% higher in this session. This move does push the price away from accelerators to the downside near the 740 level and really starts to place the pressure to the upside. This is our GEX tool here for TheoTrade, our Vol Suite. And you'll see right here as we saw that there was a lot of positive gamma really picking up at the 750 level. This is a decelerator for price, right? We start to see dealers sell into strength, buy into weakness. And, you thought, hey, we might fail at 750. Maybe we break down, or at this point you start to break higher and then we break through kind of 752. Didn't quite get there on the close today, but we really had a chance to kind of break through these upper points and see the gamma really fall off and then really pick back up at 760. And notice right here at about 753, 54, 55, they kind of really drop off up here. And again, these will build as the spot price moves towards those levels. But the point is that ultimately we're able to kind of persist in a positive gamma environment as really the accelerators, the downside, we start to move away from those levels. You'll see 740 down here. So for the week, I was looking at the weekly range being from 740 to about 760, the call wall, the put wall, and the areas for the market to test. And today was the first day where we say, hey, you know what? On a Monday, we had a chance to show some really positiveness in the S&P. And so as we kind of zoom in here, so I'm just auto zoom again and zoom back in. But as we look, we go back to past points. We had the 26th here. We had a nice jump on last Monday that fueled a move for a couple of days until we started to build those kind of option resistance, that kind of positive gamma here. The puts started to close up, and we never really got the sell off. We started to see some volatility happen last Thursday. We're kicking things off very, very similar to what we saw here. The chances we do grind, we do have a chance to really test 760 this week. And so as we dig in a little bit more closely and we look at the expiration for today, all of this just expired, right? So we saw in here, for example, 27,000 puts at the 750 strike against 7,000 on that side, a 20,000 difference. This was a pretty significant wall that was entering into today, and we were able to break through it. And notice that the open interest diminishes and then picks back up at about 755. And as we get out towards the end of the week this week, we'll start to see that 760 level begin to pick up. And again, 28,000 contracts on the call side, virtually nothing on the put side. But as we look at the puts over here, there's really nothing until about 740. And so what today did, it allowed us to push directionally away from 740. Those puts that were being hedged or the delta's diminishing, it's creating a little bit of upside pressure, but we're also eliminating the downside gamma risk of negative gamma. And negative gamma are accelerators, positive gamma are kind of decelerators. And the idea being is that if we're in a positive gamma structure, this stabilizes price as these puts work their way out of the money. Those hedges by the dealers or market makers, they're covering those hedges, creating upward lift. And we have a chance to kind of squeeze into this kind of 760 level by the end of the week. And that's something I went over this morning during my session. But as we look intraday, there was an opportunity to open up using GEX. And this is the gamma exposure structure, identifying that significant level at 750. And we broke above it. We pulled back. We bounced off of it here. And we started to kind of move higher. And this created an opportunity for a long call vertical spread, buying a 751, selling a 753. The pricing was very favorable. The target was $1 on a cost of about 52 cents. And that occurred as we started to get up in here and that filled for $1. And so a 92% gain took a couple hours to be able to get there, but it's playing into that structure. The idea is as long as we can kind of sustain above 750, we're going to see that upside pressure. And late in the session, it could potentially create some pull towards that 750 level. We saw it there for about a candle, about 5 minutes. Then we kind of dug in the after hours. This product trades for 15 minutes after the close. We saw the price kind of eke back higher again. Again, would have loved to see it down here. Would have loved to see the vol expand, but we didn't. The bulls held. They finished the day. And we really lacked the downside kind of accelerators going into today's close. And you can just see it over here. there's just a lack of overall open interest at 750. And so again, we got 27,000 really stabilizing, a positive gamma, positive gamma, positive gamma. This is for today's expiration. Maybe if we broke 746, but again, that's a zero gamma level for today. And we really don't start to crack open until really closer to 740. And so there was no real structure that was going to really create a lot of end of day volatility like we've seen for a couple of sessions or multiple sessions in the last little over a week. That structure was not today. We were able to continue to gain strength throughout the course of the trading session, faded a little bit, but ultimately we created a structure today anyway that's leading to the upside. Now, as we consider the open interest, the change that may happen for tomorrow, you start to look at the volume, how much will be added here, and you just see right here for the expiration tomorrow, you just see a lot more calls trade over here than puts traded, right? So, maybe 750, we start to add a bit more there. Maybe we start to add a bit of accelerator below 750, but ultimately the volume trade on the call side, is pretty significant and is more. So as long as we kind of open up into this kind of heavier positive gamma structure, assuming a certain percentage these translate over to open interest, as long as we can open up higher tomorrow, we set things up for tomorrow to really also grind higher on a higher open. Now, if we open below 750, we may put ourselves back in a position where all of a sudden you'll see the lack of volume down here. We start to see some accelerators take hold. But at least for the moment, today's move has pushed us off those accelerators at 740. We're starting to see more interest. We'll see how much of this translates over into open interest. But again, if we can open higher tomorrow, or at least around the same level at about 751, we do put ourselves in a decent position to see the market grind higher and maybe approach the all-time high. And again, as we approach as we look at the July 10th expiration, you look at the trade in here, and these are, again, they're definitely kind of selling calls and buying puts. You'll see 750s, that level, but very likely we'll still see more open interest on the call side than the put side for tomorrow with the more volume and current open interest. And so we really don't start to see any kind of accelerators materialize until when? Probably going to get south of about 748, and even that doesn't really kick in the pants. But again, 745, we might start to see something more materialize towards the end of the week. But we know that 740 is the next major level here, where we see the potential from magnet 740 if we begin to break down, and accelerators below 740. So just to understand, the market is positioned to have a decent week this week. And ultimately, it's the overnight gaps in the market will create, like we got here, the overnight gap to the upside created that upward lift. But if we drop enough to the downside, we push towards 740. This is where the volatility may start to crack open if we test 740 by the end of the week. But right now, it looks like, again, if we maintain this bias, got a pretty good shot by Friday of testing 760 to the upside. Of course, I look at this every day. We profile it during my session on TheoTrade. And again, that was a trade we took today during my session that was looking for a $1 exit, which we got today for a 92% gain on that intraday spread trade based on this gamma structure. Now, again, it's not all bullish. It's not all bearish either. If we bring up here, we go to the block hunter console, we'll look at two different stocks today. One is iron. Now, iron was higher on the open this morning. There's a lot of stuff going on here, but in reality, we look at vol alert or vol day. We're trying to bring this stuff to the top. And this one right here, the 55 calls, 25,000 contracts traded, that was a big one for today. Also, the 48 calls for July 17th. So very short dated 55. We got 48. Notice the squeeze bar. We got 4 bars on this thing. And notice there's 22% short interest. So as we look at iron, we're looking at maybe targets of 48 or 55. Just know is that today's volume, generally speaking, we'll look at the statistics, and you're certainly weighted on the call side towards buying, on the put side as well. But on the call side, we saw significantly more volume enter in. We're seeing, again, from a put to call ratio, 0.37. And we're probably seeing a lot of retail trade in iron. Now, look at 55 here. Now, by the end of the week, July 10th, that expiration, is it even a possibility? Well, understand, look back in the past, how many times we've made upwards of a 10-point move in a matter of a few days. It happens quite frequently. Why? This stock has significant short interest. And as you start to buy thousands of contracts at the 55 strike, it creates kind of a magnet, it creates pull, a gamma squeeze, and a short squeeze. The 48 strike in here, again, creates pull. Stock was up 13% today. So while we did fade from the high, we still held up pretty well. You could look tomorrow to see if we can close or trade above today's high of 45, and maybe start to see some magnets starting to pull and a short squeeze here. But again, the idea is looking for 55 here in the next week or two. And again, the structure is pretty favorable for trading spreads as well. Just buying an upside call spread because it's a high short interest stock. It generally has positive skew. So again, iron looking pretty positive today. ACHR. So let's bring up ACHR. In ACHR, you'll see right here at the 7 strike for August 21st. It's a little bit longer. So again, it doesn't have quite the gamma squeeze on the part of the dealer, but understand, 17,000 contracts. And again, you click right here, you can see the size, if any, that's in there on some of these. All tend to require, but again, you look here above 100, we know right away looking at this profile right there, green means bought, red means sold, yellow means it was filled at the mid. We're definitely seeing an upside call buying bias for the August 21st expiration. And this stock has 3 squeeze bars. So again, it's not showing in there, but we have relatively high short interest in ACHR. The gamma squeeze caused by the call buying generating a short squeeze in ACHR. So we bring it here. You'll see what the chart looks like. Oops. So if we look at it, you'll see again, stocks up about 7.8% today. But again, going back in here, you'll see that 48% of the calls bought at the ask. Pretty split evenly between on the put side. We're sizzling on the call side about 2.8 times the average. We're looking for that upside squeeze. And again, the target in this case is what? The time frame. All this is determined by the activity. $7 strike price for August 21st. The stock is currently at 537. So look, that's a decent upside move, getting back to prior highs in the next month. But this could happen faster. The pull at 7, the trade may continue. This may be largely some retail trade, institutional trade in this. That may be a driver to create a bit of a short squeeze. $7 target price by August expiration, which is about 46 days out. Again, these kind of stocks do make big moves because of their squeeze potential, fueled by the gamma squeeze. The short squeeze, which accelerates the upward move. $7 target by August expiration. Finally, we'll wrap things up with Micron today. It's not all positive for technology. Micron saw right here 30,000 contracts, 730 puts. And if we click on the location bar, you'll see that this was filled in one trade, one print, as they say, 30,000 contracts for 715. Notionally, this is a massive trade. You might even call it a whale. Now, if we look at Micron here, again, what does the price look like at the moment? We're basically pushing towards Friday's or Thursday's close. You'll see the trade flash over for 30,000 contracts. The hard thing is finding these. But again, that was a huge block trade, institutional block trade on Micron, looking at downside. Now, again, most of it occurred between the market, right? We're not seeing a surge in here in terms of massive volume, right? That's traded in the calls and puts today. But this is why it's so significant, being able to easily identify these large trades that are going on. Are there some of the call sides? Sure. Is it all about buying here? Probably not. But we do know they bought 30,000 puts in one trade for $7. Take 30,000 times it by 100 and then times it by 7. It gives you a sense of the size of this trade. And again, is it a hedge? Possibly. Doesn't matter. It doesn't actually. And in fact, if we look at the trade here on Micron, the delta, this is way out of the money at 730. Is this going to have some sort of immediate effect bearishly on it? Not necessarily. But if we start to get traction below the low about 950, this is where all of a sudden the size of that trade really starts to kick in and gravity starts to take hold. And so at the moment, we're kind of got this broadening formation that ultimately ended up breaking on Friday. And today's trade certainly is not changing that potential outlook here of maybe losing. If I just draw a fib retracement off the entirety of the uptrend right here, you get a sense of maybe a 1/3 to 2/3 retracement. 700 would not be out of the realm of possibility. And even taking this as kind of a seed wave here, even though we're not done, 161 is about 760 and 261, we're breaking through that 61% retracement looking at going back here. So the idea being is that, hey, You know, the data center, Meta's last week, all this stuff is really pointing to maybe some concern here. And maybe we just don't need as much memory as we did previously. Well, folks, that's the video for today. We'll catch you next week and I hope you have a great one. Thank you.